Good evening, and welcome to Man Cave Meditations. It's been a few days, and as usual, a few days is relative. And what pushed me, besides all the normal chaos that's going on, obviously, but besides that, to make this little clip here was what I feel is almost a historical reference between what's happening right now between the leader of the U.S. Senate, Chuck Schumer. Again, what I feel is a historical reference to the Allied pre-World War II, the Allied policy of appeasement towards Hitler in the 30s. And you think of, first it was Hitler, after rearming, or at least beginning to rearm Germany. No, he was more the beginning. I'm sorry. It was 1936. 1936. He felt strong enough, I think, to at least make a show of force by marching into the Rhineland, which was the industrial heartland, I think, of Germany, and I believe was stripped from them post-World War I as part of the devastating, that whole devastating end to that war that led to the next. But anyway, 1936, Germany walked in to the Rhineland that was supposedly covered by, troops of France, at least France. France, England, and they just ran away. If they were even there, they ran away. So Germany took it all over, and Chamberlain was like, "Yeah, we're gonna give you that one. We'll give you that one." And then Hitler, demagogue, it's never enough. So then it was, okay, well, they give me that. I want to have control of the Sudetenland. So the remilitarization of the Rhineland was in 1936, and then in 1938, Hitler demanded to basically that all these German-speaking people that live in Czechoslovakia, current day, that they are, was at that point Czechoslovakia, they should be with us, with Germany, because they're German speaking. And Neville Chamberlain said, and Hitler said, if you do this for me, you give me this part of Sudetenland, and I don't remember the wealth or that was in regard to that place, but anyway, if you give me this, I'll stop all hostility. Just give me that. Give it to me. And Neville Chamberlain, for numerous reasons, not being able to, being wrong person at the job at the time, or maybe it was the right person because the war was inevitable. If the war was inevitable, he was the right person. Because, I mean, he walked off that plane after he gave the Germany part of Czech. We have peace in our time. Do we? Do we really have peace in our time? Because the next year, Germany invaded Poland based upon a false flag operation that they, and then Russia invaded from the other side, gobbled up Poland. So peace in our times? Yeah. So anyway, I feel that history, in a way, is repeating itself with, through current events. And you see it in the handling of the situation now with Chuck Schumer. I believe he is behaving in a way similar to Neville Chamberlain did 80, 90 years ago. Through appeasement. Yeah. I don't remember who said it, what politician or president said it, but it's something about like being in the head of the lion's mouth when you try to talk to it. You can't. It's going to eat you. At some point, there is no appeasement. The arsonist just wants to burn it down. So Schumer, I think, because I heard his argument on, I think it was MSNBC. I think it might have been Chris Hayes. Anyway, and I heard his argument that it was basically along the lines of, listen, this CR, it sucks, but I know I know the mechanisms of government to the degree that if we don't do this and the government shuts down, it basically like opens it all up to the president being able to do whatever he wants to do. And the courts aren't even funded. It was like, sounded like anarchy. I thought about that. And you know what? They want that on themselves and risk the rising of the American public? Go ahead. That's worth it. There is no appeasing the beast. If you appease it, it only becomes stronger through your appeasement. It only becomes weaker from our protestation, from our, no, we don't want this. What the fuck? We don't want this. Why was this guy voted? Why was he voted in? And again, I feel that after this segment of our history, which we will get through, there should be a golden age, but like a reckoning based upon what this country's gone through, at least in the past, whatever amount of time. Hopefully it won't end in civil war or anything like that. But just a reckoning of that we need to shore things up. And I'm not saying strengthen the executive or strengthen this and that. No. I'm talking about term limits for Supreme Court members. These should not be careers. lifeline. These people are not the fucking Pope. It's like, give me a fucking break. Term limits, you know? Just because it's never been before doesn't mean it cannot be. And not just term limits for Supreme Court members. Term limits for senators. Congressmen and women. Like I said before, it could be 12 years for both. Whatever it's determined to be. But listen, these positions should not be a career. They should not be a career. They should not be. Because far too often in the past, since Trump, people are afraid to act because they're afraid to get primaried. Really? So what if you get primaried? You were in this job to perform a duty for your country. Not to make $175,000 a year, whatever the fuck it is. Not to have a staff. It shouldn't be a career. It should be a privilege. And to guard against this whole career mentality, there needs to be limits. Listen, if you're a junior congressman, you do 12 years in Congress, then you move on to Senate, 12 years in the Senate, 24, 48 years old, you could be secretary of, based upon the current norm, you could be secretary of anything. As long as you have a pulse. But the water has to flow through the House of Representatives, up through the Senate, into the other forms of government. Right? Into the other forms of government. It should move up. The water should flow up. But instead, you have people making, I'm a career congressman. I'm a career senator. What the fuck? No, you're a career, liking a nice salary, probably getting greased whatever the fuck you do on the side for being in the position that you're in. All the benefits, the pension, whatever the fuck, and however many weeks a year you get to have off. And basically, as long as you show up in a suit or dressed well and speak coherently, semi-coherently, you're good to go. Don't you think we should put a limit on that of some kind? And at least be like, hey, listen, just like the president, FDR was one thing, Trump may be another. We could applaud him drooling at one point, but beyond that, it should be 2 4-year terms. That's it. Why is it different for congressmen and senators? We have to, when we get through this, we have to come back and look at this issue. Because it is an issue. If you are that dedicated to service, to civil service, then after you've done your two terms as a senator, 12 years, well then, you can go ahead, you can become the head of the FBI. There's so many areas. As opposed to becoming a pool of stagnant water. Which, a lot of times, that's what it leads to. And this day and age right now is displaying that. When your entire democracy is at stake, You should not worry about being fucking primaried. I'm sorry. I drive a truck. I have 3 degrees and I drive a truck, but I drive a truck. Member of a union. Proud member. I'm going to say right now, like, it should not be like this. It just should not be like this. And for the little amount that I know that. It should not be like this. People in these positions of power they should be rewarded when they leave their positions of Congress. Fine, be rewarded. But they should not be careers. It has to flow. So, I've spoken way too much. Thank you. Bless.